Hello, fermented folks.
We have P. Jelly Clark.
All Makatsu.
We have Travis Baldry.
Today we have a really special guest, Leopoldo Gout.
Are you reeling it in and defending clowns?
I am. Earth doesn't even exist in Battlestar Galactica.
This show gave me heartburn. I was like, I loves it, I hate it.
It's called All Fluff.
Oh!
If you didn't know how I actually feel about The Mandalorian,
Don't worry,
this is it right here.
Ooh, welcome.
Hello, fermented folks, and welcome to another episode of Fermented Fiction, this show where we debate the best movies, books, and shows in the speculative fiction realm with our distinguished guests. And said guest tonight is Elizabeth Suggs, my friend from the HWA, a fellow chair of a chapter down there in Salt Lake City. Liz, thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Super excited.
Hell yes. And you chose a hell of a movie that we have a lot of excitement that we can pack into this conversation, because Hereditary is a crazy-ass film. So we're going to get into it. But first, we'll start this episode like we always do with a round of personal updates, and we'll start with our Fermented Fiction hosts. Travis, you are in the farm background, as we've both been witnessed in that background many times. What you doing in Montana? What's going on?
It is a recurring theme on the show to be in the farm background. I'm home. When I don't teach, I do week on, week off, helping our family farm. It's one of the weeks on, so I'm there, and I guess my update would be I brought my heavy bag with me this year because I don't want to lose any of my boxing workouts, and it is the most like boxing movie I've ever felt in my life, because it's literally in like our farm shop, hung up on a hook, like a car mechanic hook, just like swinging from it. And I go in there every.
Are you
every
rolling
time.
over tractor tires? Because
I need.
it's a real missed opportunity if you're not.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to get the whole training montage in.
I've never felt like I was training like Rocky more in my life than right
Nice.
now. So.
If you got any time, do a montage for us so the fermented folks can see it. You know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see your
film it.
montage.
Yeah, training montage. Old high school wrestling room sessions in there. Get the bag in the gym.
Yeah.
Running the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I might think of it. I might do it.
I love it. I hope that you do think of it. I hope that you do it. Jeremy, what's new with you since yesterday?
Well, since yesterday, not a whole lot, but I did have an update that I was saving, because I did get to drop the StokerCon bomb yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But while we were at StokerCon, I learned what is apparently one of my hottest takes, and I was not really prepared for how hot this take was.
Okay.
But, and you were there, so was Travis, as my hot takes tend to be. It was a picture, if you will, the World Cup beginning on
We had a whole lunch debate
on the
about
television.
It was a whole lunch
harmless
debate.
weirdo, says offhand, like, "Wow, it's nice when it makes sense to sing the national anthem at a sporting event."
Yeah.
And
That's what you said.
now Travis was not having it.
Nope.
Travis was absolutely not having it. He would not let it stand. And I still feel the same way to this day.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to change your opinion on anything, Jeremy, because I feel like we're both stubborn people. But
Yeah, I think that goes
I
both
love-
ways. I
I
don't
love
think Jeremy
doing
has changed any of your opinions either.
he might.
Yeah.
Usually by the time you guys are talking about something.
I
Yeah,
change-
no,
I
you're right.
change opinions if I learn.
You're definitely not holding your opinion on that.
In Travis's defense, a lot of my opinions are deeply crazy. So,
Sure.
That's fair.
so there is that.
And Travis is a man of logic and reason.
No, not always. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. that sounds,
You don't like the British accent, or what?
I don't know.
That would explain. You do. It is the whole. Yeah, it's the whole national anthem situation all over again. Get that
whole
British
thing.
accent out of here.
Get it
Okay.
out of here.
Liz, I'm so sorry. You're just sitting down there being like, what the hell podcast did I sign up for?
A weird one. That's what you did.
The best one. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm glad you agree,
Yeah. They're more fun than I think.
So I'm Clay, Pacific Northwest horror author. For those of you who don't know, and my personal update. I also haven't done much since yesterday. I am excited. There's a possibility I'm going to be brushing off the acting chops in the relatively near future.
Shit.
It could be fun.
Film
the film
or theater?
Oh,
Film
now
or theater?
It's okay to use a British accent when you're doing it.
When you're talking about theater, of
Okay.
course.
Yes.
Okay.
When you-
Well, no, I'm not
discussing
talking about the.
parent,
I'm talking about the movies. It might be a short film. I've just read the script today. We're still working on it, so I can't say anything else other than that. But it's very possible that I have a role in like a local short film, which would be really fun. So we'll see. I'll keep y'all posted if that becomes a reality.
Yeah.
Liz, we're so
Yeah.
excited that you're on the show. Do you want to tell the Fermented folks a little about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. So as Clay mentioned, I am essentially leading, one would say maybe president, if you can say that, for the HWA Utah chapter. There are a lot of people who help a lot, but so it's a really good one. I'm really sad I didn't come to StokerCon though this year, but I'll go next year. I also write a bunch of stuff. Like I write horror, of course, and I write romance because I'm deranged in two different ways. I feel like I lost both of you, but I guess I didn't. But so I one thing about me recently that I found, I lived in Wales in 2021 for university. I was getting my master's, and during that time I just weaseled my way into a true crime show. And in that I helped out, did all the stuff. It's a long story, but then this one girl didn't show up for her gig, so I took her spot, and I ended up being a temptress in this show, and I hadn't seen it for like years. Okay, so I had never seen it. It was very frustrating, because the guy who had helped me get on the show, I think he was like mad that I didn't want to date him. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But I finally found it, and I posted about it on Instagram last night because I was like super excited. But I found it, and I had to get a VPN, a UK VPN, to even watch it. But it's called Murder by the Sea. That's the series, the show, and then it's season, or what they say in the UK, series 8. So season 8, episode 9, with Michael Peacock, and I'm the temptress Gabriella. So, anyway, thought that was really cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
What a
that's
great
my
temptress name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Our Clay and I's parents consume an insane amount of British crime thrillers.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So
So,
they might have
if
seen
you have
it.
a UK, you have seen it.
No, I was saying
sorry.
they might have seen you. I don't know. I don't know.
They
if
might
have
have.
the
So
VPN.
yeah, it's not on BritBox because I have tried that. Like it was this whole thing. I couldn't get it in the US and stuff. But if you go to ITVX and you specifically do the UK VPN and then search Murder by the Sea, then you can find it. And it's season 8.
Right.
So
All right.
you gotta watch it. I'm in a few of them, but that's the biggest cameo. Like that's the biggest show I have. Like, because I'm rubbing this guy's leg and like really close. Anyway,
I miss I
Yeah.
miss the like
That's
old
awesome.
age of like westerns in the United States when they just reused all the same extras. So like
Yeah.
the villain one episode would just be the farmer the next episode. It's just like put a mustache on him, he'll play another role, it's fine. Oh, now take the mustache off, make him bald. Same guy. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I love that.
Yeah.
My favorite.
So good.
Black Mirror does that kind of. They'll
Yeah.
recycle.
Yeah. Black Mirror, yeah, that has come back in that way, kind of, with like the anthology shows, because all the American Horror Story do that too, right? They have all the same actors coming back again and again, which is pretty cool when it works out. Yeah, well, thank you so much for being on the show, Liz. We're excited to have you, and we're excited to talk about Hereditary today. This is a 2018 horror film. If you haven't seen Hereditary yet, and you like horror, then you're really missing out, because this is one of the, I would say, contemporary horror movies that sort of flip the script on what horror could be going forward. I do really consider it one of the darker like mainstream horror films that's trying to both be marketable and be really, really dark. And it did a great job of doing both, and it kind of showed that horror could do that and also like deliver a strong message and just be an impactful film on its own. So yeah, I mean, again, there's plenty of horror movies that have done that before, but in the contemporary age, I think Hereditary is seen by a lot of people as one that really, really did that. It follows a family who goes through a couple of extremely traumatic losses, one of which is by telephone pole, one of the most brutal death scenes ever put to screen. So if you've never seen it, again, go check it out. It is sort of a demon possession, familial trauma, and familial curse story mashed into one thing, with some really, really effective use of gore and death and stuff like that. That's kind of the summary. I recommend going to watch it. But if you haven't, we are going to spoil everything on this show. So if you don't want us to do that, go away and then come back later. And if you don't care, carry on. We're about to do our debate segment. So if you haven't seen this, we're going to roll 2 d20s. Whoever rolls high will defend the movie. Whoever rolls low will attack it, regardless of what they actually think. And after that 10 minutes, we will discuss what we really think about the film. Jeremy, Liz, are y'all ready to debate?
Oh, so ready.
Let's you roll for Liz, and I got
Ooh,
the
boy.
timer.
That's really
All right.
something.
What'd you get?
I got an 18.
That beats my 15. It's a decent roll.
Oh man, good rolls.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was the opposite
You
of
gave it
yesterday.
your best.
Sorry, Liz. I tried, but alas, I have been bested by Jeremy. That means hopefully Liz hates this movie because she's about to argue that she does. Travis, if you want to count him in, Jeremy will start since he was the higher roller, and I am going to disappear.
All right, make it a clean fight or not. We don't really care on this show. If you want to, hits below the belt are allowed. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Well, this movie is honestly a pretty easy one to defend. Like, the cinematography is absolutely immaculate, and it just, start to finish, it opens with like super cool setup and these awesome miniature shots and this dope transition from like a dollhouse into a person's room, and you can't. It's seamless. It's incredible. And I mean, the performances, all the actors are just absolutely bringing it, beginning to end, and like it's not a movie. Like, if you haven't seen it before, it is not going to be the movie you're expecting to see. There is no way to expect this unless you're familiar with The Witch.
So, and I understand where you're coming from. I think you do raise good points. However, for a lot of people, I mean, I would say that the pacing is a little slow, especially in that first hour. the first part of the story promises a story about grief, right? But it also has an ending that just becomes straightforward demon cult plot. Where do we lose that, right? So, and I can see where you get the cinematography, but we don't want to get bogged down by all this, like, are we losing the story in hopes of having the beauty? So, and also the characters, there's several questionable decisions, right? That maybe if they would have just done something slightly different, the whole story would change. I don't know if I love that. It's very, very cliche, very tropey.
But I mean, that's every story. Like, if you do something slightly different, something different will happen, different consequences, different actions. And I think the grief is carried through just beginning to end throughout the movie, just intensifying with loss after loss and fight after fight with the family before everyone is just totally swallowed up by it by the end. You know, lots of, like, there's some masterful filmmaking, like, and on the topic of the cinematography, again, which I've promised to one day stop banging on about, it's like stunning and beautiful, but in a way that doesn't, it's not like that at the expense of the story. It's so good because it's using the camera work and everything else to just really expertly communicate what is going on. Now, I will, of course, just give you the point that, yeah, like, if somebody hands you a ritual that you're supposed to chant, maybe, like, try to see what you're saying. Just try it, for everybody's sake. That gets me, but I think it does also make sense with the grief state and that manic, untreated mental illness that we see just going on throughout the film.
Yeah. And I see where the grief comes in, and I see, you know, it plays a role throughout. But I just feel like that the movie tells us more about a demon cult and conspiracy that's like orchestrating all these events rather than it being this family grief. So if you like that, that's great, but I feel like it loses the story at that point.
I could see that as you know, if taken face value on its merits, devoid of metaphor and things, I could see that. But you know, there's so much going on, and there is a lot of build up to that payoff with, like, the little symbols you see everywhere, the grinning weirdo at the funeral and stuff, and all these little things that point to the grandmother's, like, just far-reaching weird satanic plan and stuff. It could feel out of nowhere, but all the little clues are there, and I'm guessing this is a film that definitely rewards people who want to rewatch it.
Yeah, but at the same time, don't you think the symbolism is a little heavy-handed sometimes? And it just keeps just, like, repeatedly telling us, like, what if I was paying attention the whole time? I don't need this told me 5,000 times.
Well, you know, to do an ending like this, you do have to make sure that everybody's on board, from your smartest friend to old simple Jim sitting there in the theater being like, well, where's these moving pictures? You know? But it's man, I mean, I think there's you know, it's all set up. It sets up for the immediate next thing, and then the long-term next thing. And if anything, I feel like that rewards people who feel like paying attention. You know, it's and if anything, it distracts you from the idea that they're probably going to burn down that treehouse running those heat lamps in there all the time. But
Yeah,
I digress.
Logic.
You don't
right?
go to the movies for
Don't you think
realism.
logic? How many times are we on? 10 minutes now, or do we have to keep?
Oh, we can keep going. You can do it. I believe in you.
You have three
I can
and a
try
half
to
minutes. 3.5
Ooh.
minutes.
See, what about the, some of the scenes could be genuinely like disturbing rather than pulling away from scary. For me, when I'm like, it's really hard to actually scare me in a movie. I get scared in games, right? Because you're like part of it. But in a movie, it's just gore. It's like whatever. Everyone has gore. There's nothing like making me more afraid. So I'm not at the edge of my seat, right? I'm just like, oh, okay, here's this. Oh, it's happening again. Someone's head got ripped off. Oh, no. Oops. Too bad.
Well, sometimes heads got to come off. Lots of heads come off in this movie. And it's nobody's safe. You think the little girl is safe? Nope. She's if anything, she's the exact opposite of safe. Okay, but I mean, sure, there are some. I think the gore and whatever in this movie was actually like fairly restrained. I'm sure we all can think of several horror franchises where if like somebody is losing their head, there's no way to question it. You get to see it in all of its glory, well lit, head exploding on the side of a light pole. That's what you're gonna see. Here, it's not even super clear right away what has happened. But
and at the same time, using that the unclarity, I don't know, whatever. The ending feels almost like confusing or overly reliant on this exposition, so maybe people don't feel as satisfied, right? And maybe they're just left with the intense images or those repeated symbols, but at the end, did we really just get back to the grief, or is it just more of demonness?
It's hard to say, and I think that's a discussion for the viewer. But I think, like, ultimately, when you're going in for a nicely scary movie, the thing you remember most, if not necessarily the end, is the tension, the creeping horror, and of course that lady banging her head against the attic door like she's trying to become a rock star. I don't know. It's but all of those are just going to stick with you the whole time. The whole time, I guess, meaning your life. The whole entirety of your life.
And that's like 5 seconds shy. And I think that's a good place to call it.
Yeah.
So we're going to call it right now. That's great.
What else can I say?
We're not going to make Liz try and respond with 10 seconds to all of that. So, good debate, folks.
Hey, good work, everyone.
Good work, everyone.
We did it.
It is now time for trivia, correct? I'm getting the order right?
You did it.
No, I've been away. Yeah, I did it.
You did it.
Missed a show, and I already forgot what I'm doing. All right, what we have here is some fun trivia facts for y'all, and I know, because you said it before the show, Liz, that you have one, which is very good. But I will kick us off. I have 10. There are more. I like to stop at 10, or else we'd be doing trivia for the whole show.
Yeah.
Which
Unless
is not
it's a
what this
book.
show is. That's true. Toni Collette had told her agent that she didn't want to do any more dark, heavy films and only wanted to do comedies. But then she got the script for Hereditary and could not turn it down because she liked it so much.
Yeah.
Second fact is also about her response to it. She has called Ari Aster the most prepared director she's ever worked with, praised him for practically having the full movie already shot and edited in his head 2 years before they started filming. which is cool because this was, I believe, his first big hit. I mean, probably not his debut film. I mean, there's
It
lots
is
of
his
shorts and
debut
stuff out
feature.
there.
It is his debut feature.
Feature, yep, his first big feature film, which is awesome. He wanted any effects that could be done practically to be done practically instead of in post-production. We can maybe talk about if that's why it looked so good. I love this quote from him. He wanted Hereditary to be a film about suffering that took suffering seriously. So, yeah, I think he nailed that. It was shot in 32 days and 12 hours, which I was going to ask you people who have been on film sets, is that short window?
That's super fast for a
Yeah,
movie.
that's a pretty quick turnaround, especially for a featured film.
A feature of this magnitude with like effects that look that good. It's super fast.
Sixth fact is my favorite of the bunch. One of the trailers for Hereditary in 2018.
Yes, this one's the best.
In Inhaloo, Western Australia, was accidentally shown before a screening of Peter Rabbit.
Oh boy.
Parents panicked and fled the cinema with their kids because the R-rated trailer was so intense. The theater eventually shut the screen off and offered all audience members a complimentary movie pass to apologize for the mistake. I also think they should have personally gone to each one of their houses and stayed up because those children would not sleep for the next month, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Crazy.
Poor buddies.
Poor
Poor buddies weren't ready.
Poor things.
Little side tangent story that Peter Roche, who we've had on before, talked about. I think it was Peter. Yeah, talked about how he forgot how gory the beginning of Zombieland was and like showed his teenage son.
Oh yeah.
Like, way too early. And he said that was one of the biggest mistakes they made as a parent. Yeah. Kids get scared. I remember the hand scene from It.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a scene like that? Because I remember walking by my bedroom, walked through the living room, was past the living room, so I had to walk by the TV. And I like woke up late one night and went to the bathroom, and I walked by, and I remember in the old Tim Curry It, which isn't even that scary, but I walked by right at the scene when the hands go over the shoulders when they're on like the chant circle, and you see like its hands wrap around the. And man, I could not forget that scene for like months. But little tangent question? Does anybody have a memory of that?
Well, not It, but when I was little, I used to sneak and watch scary shows, and it kind of like messed up my mind, I think. But one thing that really sticks in it is the dentist. I can't even remember what movie it was. It was like Teeth or Dentist. It's from like the 80s or something. And this dentist would like lure people in onto his dentist chair and pull out their teeth or like disfigure them. And I like still think about that.
That's terrifying. Don't need any more motivation to be uncomfortable at the dentist.
You're
welcome.
For me, it was the cupboard scene in Sixth Sense, because that was like the first scary movie I watched. And yeah, that cupboard scene where the kid appears always freaked me out. And also, funnily enough, probably the Ghost in the Darkness, because I used to, there's lions in that grass. And that scene where only the local guy can see them moving. And I had to walk like a half mile from the bus to my house through like fields of wheat. So when I was like a kid, I was like,
oh no.
I remember the dream sequence when it jumps on the wife and you're like,
oh yeah, that one too.
That one was freaking. Jeremy, did you have an early horror memory that really got you?
Well, somewhat. I mean, it always creeped me out. I think it's common knowledge, a matter of public record that I watched the first Blade film when I was 6 years old, and that was, and lovely time. But when the Karen in the first film falls down in the pit, and it's her friend from the hospital, but he's all ghoulified and it's gonna eat it. It's like, nope, no thank you. No, thank
Yeah.
you. Messed me up for a little bit.
That's a good one. All right, I believe I was on fact number 6, so this is number 7. The primary direction Ari Aster gave composer Colin Stetson was to make the score feel evil. Great direction.
Felt super evil.
This was the 4th A24 to get a wide release, which is cool. And all 4 of those, I would say 3, I'm going to name them, but I'm going to preface before I name them that 3 of them, in my opinion, are masterpieces. And one of them is a good movie. Like, not a masterpiece, but a great movie. It was The Witch, masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
A movie called Free Fire that a lot of people missed. It's good. It's a fun action film. Interesting. And It Comes at Night, which not a lot of people have seen.
You love that
I
movie.
think it is one of the most underrated horror films. It's so damn good. If you haven't watched It Comes at Night, don't watch a trailer because they're very misleading. Just go watch the movie. It's fantastic.
It is good, but the trailer ruins it because you expect a completely different movie. If you watch
the trailer makes it seem like a slasher, and it is not. It is not a slasher. What I got two more for you. The 2 actors that played siblings. This is also a really good one. Ari Aster wanted them to go to dinner with each other.
Yep.
In character to like figure out their relationship. And reportedly, they went 3 times, and all 3 times they sat there for like 2 to 3 hours. And Millie, that plays the daughter, just didn't talk. And Alex Wolff tried to get her to talk the whole time, and she just sat there eating and like staring at him.
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, so uncomfortable. It definitely probably helped their performance. We
Yeah.
And my last one, I just love anytime I can give shout outs to DPs because I think they're doing amazing work. Always have, but like people I think are finally giving directors of photography the recognition they deserve for making these horror movies look so damn good. And this DP, Paul Pogorzelski, was Ari Aster's classmate at the American Film Institute Conservatory. So that's why he got booked for it. And I'm going to look up his body of work right now, and I'll get back to you on where he kind of went from this movie. I hope it was many places because he shot a fantastic film.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
Elizabeth, what was the fact that you were excited to share about?
Well, it's not really a factoid that you get at like a a quiz night at the bar or something. It's just something fun. So I know the blonde guy who's in the classroom scene where he turns around and he like says like a single line. I can't even remember what he says, but he says just one line, and it's like during the point when like Peter is like having like mental, like he's having his like mental issues. And so, but yeah, so my friend, like I've lost contact with him, but I just remember when we were first friends, he was taking acting classes from this producer, or he didn't say his name. He just said he was taking acting classes from this one well-renowned guy. And if someone in that class did really well and impressed him, he would get like a spot in this like weird new movie. And then like years later, I lost contact. And then years later, I'm like in the theater and I'm like, that's him. That's it. So anyway.
That's awesome.
I do want to say I found it. Paul Pogorzelski. I'm probably butchering his name. I am impressed with. So he's stuck with Ari. He's done Hereditary, Midsommar, and he did Ari's Beau is Afraid. He didn't do his newest one. He switched up DPs for that one. But he's got a really diverse portfolio of. He did Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, so he's done a couple action films. He did Blue Beetle for DC, and most recently the one that I know of is The Woman in the Yard.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen, but the trailers made it look like it was shot well. I don't know how.
It was shot well. I watched it.
So. Yeah, that's what I got. Anyone else got any more facts? Before I tell you if it was a success.
I was gonna say I did think it was cool that it was shot in Utah. Because I don't think a ton of big films are shot in Utah. I haven't done any research on that, but I don't hear Utah's name a lot when it comes
I
to.
feel like it is. I don't know. I don't want to cut in, but I feel like Utah used to be really like a hot seat for movies.
Okay.
So
I
I'm
could be
gonna fact check you. I'm gonna go find and see if I can find any because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like old movies, not current movies.
Hmm.
Let me check.
Yeah.
That would make sense for like westerns with its like because it's such a
Mhm.
beautiful state.
Hmm.
I would definitely say I think you're right about that for sure.
Yeah, so I'm
We'll see.
so for those who are watching, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I am from Utah, and I live here, and yeah, there's like Thelma and Louise, Hereditary, The Sandlot, Dumb and Dumber, 127 Hours, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, Forrest Gump, Indiana Jones, The Lost Crusade.
Wow.
Okay.
Utah also like westerns and horror movies. We just have a lot of them.
Nice.
And then the opening scenes in Midsommar, I think, are also from in Utah. So that's
Nice.
That says Google says so.
Yeah,
Take
man.
that with a
All
but
right.
yeah, like you know, like these.
I take it back.
No, you're wrong. I'm sorry. It's just
That
you
is-
know, it's my little pride and joy. This Utah place.
I love
bad.
Utah. I love Utah. It's an awesome
You gotta
place.
come here. Yeah, you gotta come.
Go check out Utah if you never have. It's one of my favorite states to visit for sure, and
It's
one of the best.
exploded. It's like getting so crazy now. Like Salt Lake City and Ogden, they're like completely different than what they were like 10 years ago. So
Yeah, it's like that out here too.
yeah.
I've only been
Seattle area.
one time. I went to Provo for a wedding.
Oh no! Why'd you go there? I mean,
My friend got married there. So I went.
well,
I had
Provo's
to
a beautiful place. There's some beautiful hikes, but if you want to have fun, you go to Salt Lake City.
go. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, what are you trying to do in Provo? Get out of there.
Just a wedding. That was it.
All the weddings there.
Any other fun facts before we talk about if this movie was a success?
How successful was it?
All right. Very.
Yeah.
It made it
Get
so
out of
for
town.
those, I've said this a lot, but for those who maybe are new to the show, the standard for box office success that I've seen, I might be wrong on this, but what I've seen is you have to make at least 2 times, usually a little over 2 times your budget to be considered a box office success and make money for the studio. Hereditary made almost its entire budget in its opening weekend. It was a $10 million movie. It made $13.5 in its opening weekend, and finally, with international and domestic combined, so with a worldwide box office, it clocked in at 90 mil. So it made 9 times its production budget. So
There you go, man.
was it a success? Yes, very much so.
Indeed.
A24 was very happy with that product.
Yep. Blank checks for
Ooh.
Ari Aster all around.
Yeah, and he got him because Beau is Afraid is a frickin' trip.
Yeah. Hey, and it went to the award show, you know. So
It did.
yeah, he's had a good run for sure with A24. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. One thing that people don't know yet, because we did skip a segment, Travis, you were right on your instincts. We skipped Drink of the Week.
Oh no!
Oh,
We did.
yeah, they don't know.
So let's do that
They
before
don't
we
even
find out
know
what we
what we're
really
doing,
think.
man.
What are we drinking,
We're gonna
everybody?
Well, I see, Clay,
I'll
that
start.
you're still taking it easy.
I'm drinking Athletic. I'm drinking the Lemon Radler today because it's feeling like summertime out here on the Olympic Peninsula. Yeah, I'm not ready for alcohol to be in my system again. We're taking a break.
Yeah.
I just went to
There you go,
StokerCon.
I'm gonna go next
But you-
year. Are you going?
Yeah,
next
you got to
year?
come next year, Liz. It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
We'll all be there.
Gonna
Okay,
rip
gotcha.
food.
Yes.
Jeremy, what are you drinking?
You
Now
maniac.
this will. Yeah, I am a maniac, and you'll get to see the extent to which I am a maniac, because this is the Infinity Bottle
Oh,
Oh, for Hereditary?
for Hereditary.
Damn, dog.
Okay.
we might get some hot
Savage.
takes coming in with
Oh,
hot
yeah.
takes, maybe.
No, there's viewers of the show know what this means. I won't spoil it for anybody who doesn't know yet, but this is a huge giveaway for how I really feel about this movie.
Oh,
Can
interesting.
you explain to us what the infinity bottle is?
Well, the infinity bottle is, at its most basic, in its most academic form, it is a blending of various alcohols to create a special house blend. In
House
practice,
blend.
yeah, sure, why not? In practice, it is me trying to make a bottle of Kaolila, which is a scotch that is all smoke and band-aids, palatable in any way whatsoever. So every time I take a drink out of this, I pour something else into it and hope. And why do I do that?
A lot of stuff right now, like it's just over time, 100 years worth of stuff.
Over time, and a lot of wild stuff has gone in there. Various whiskeys, gin, tequila, all
Sure.
just it's
Jeremy, I have two things for you.
Hey.
One, that seems like the sophisticated adult version of like drinking the wounded soldiers at the end of a party.
100%.
And two, you need to keep doing that. And if you have children, you need to will it to them.
yes, absolutely.
So that, as Liz says, 100 years down the line, it can be still in practice.
And if you don't, you can will it to Travis's children.
Yeah, I will make sure it will be in legal writing. Like you must.
You must continue drinking. From the infinity.
I will obviously will it to whoever is the youngest living relative of Travis.
Excellent.
I'll take that.
Just as long as they are not allowed to drink it yet.
Right.
The infinity bottle will continue. All right. Sure. On that, I'm drinking the one thing that I always leave one bottle of bourbon at the farm.
Sure.
That just takes a couple of years to drink because I'm not here most of the year. And last time I was here, I bought Never Sweat, which is my favorite Montana bourbon from Butte. Yeah,
there you
pretty
go.
And I'm drinking it out of the I'm Your Huckleberry cup from Tombstone that's been used and abused.
Every time I come home, I use that cup, and I always spin it on my finger a couple times. You have to. You have to.
You'll want that. Yeah.
Yep.
Such a classic scene. Such an amazing scene.
What are you doing if you're not doing that,
Elizabeth, what are you drinking?
So I'm drinking three things because one is a bubbly water.
Sure.
One is kombucha, and one is wine.
Nice.
And the wine is being drank out of this little Let's Be Mermaids cup because my friend Jonathan decided that's what needed to happen. So.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be mermaids,
someone painted me, or a few people painted me as a mermaid, so
nice.
I'll stay a mermaid. Cool. Yeah.
I think that's the right call. Jonathan was correct. That is what needed to happen. The other thing that needs to happen is we need to talk about what we all actually think of this movie, and we always start with the person who was forced to say nay. So Liz, that's you. Do you truly nay this movie, or do you like this movie? Do you yay it?
I yay it. I actually really like this movie. I like slower movies. I don't think I can see why some people don't love that, but I feel like it builds up tension. I think the acting was fantastic, and I agree with you where it was the cinematography was beautiful. I mean, that's why I also like the new movie Backrooms, because it's slow and there's so much beauty in this hauntingness, and that's the same thing with Hereditary. So no, I think the script, the writing was really good, and writing, because I guess as a writer, I just really value that. If the dialogue is really, really dumb, I'm just going to get pulled out. So, and I really liked it.
Oh yeah, I did forget a fun fact that I found really funny. Because in your debate, you said this movie's too long, which is a perfectly good argument for the movie, and too slow. I think it's important everybody knows that Ari Aster has a 3-hour cut of this movie.
Yeah.
And it is allegedly primarily more family dialogue. So
Release the
Wow.
Oster
could have
cut.
been 3
Release
hours.
That's
the
awesome.
Oster cut.
3 hours is a little bit long for me. I don't usually sit for movies. It takes 2.5 hours is usually my limit, or I need like an intermission. Like, why don't we have intermissions in the U.S.? I don't. Other countries
Yeah.
do. Why don't we
Bring
have
it
it?
back.
Yeah.
Bring
Bring
back
back.
the intermission.
Bring them back.
Especially
And then
with
people
direct-
buy more snacks. Like, that would just help
With directors,
the movie.
directors like Martin Scorsese just being like, you don't need to pee. We need intermissions.
Do you love-
that man? He
They'll,
will
like,
not
make
stop.
noises and yeah.
No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you love movies or not?
Absolute travesty.
You will
Sit
sit
down and
if you-
shut up.
If you love movies, you'll do what I do, which is if the movie's too long and you have to pee, you go and come back and then come back and watch the movie a second time, go to the bathroom at a different part.
That's good. That's
There
more
you
money.
go.
More money for the movie.
That sounds so intense. Oh my, wow.
For some reason, Jeremy and Scorsese were on the exact same page, and they just didn't realize that's not the page most people are on.
Yeah.
I do have one recent story that I have to tell about that, and before Jeremy gives us his opinion, but I have watched a lot of movies in theater. I have this down to a science. I have my theater is 25 minutes of trailers. On the dot, I've had arguments with people. They're like, it's 20 or it's 28. I'm like, it's 25. I will time it. And I'm right. So I leave my house close to start time because I'm like, 25 minutes is enough for me to get there, get my popcorn. I went to back rooms and it was so packed. It is the first movie I've missed the opening to in like years because I showed up and it was just like line out the door, people waiting to see. And I was like, holy crap, this is both awesome and like I did not plan for this.
Yeah.
So I missed the beginning of Backrooms and have to go a second time because I just did not expect the theater to have that many people in it. So my system
great.
didn't work.
And how dare
Sorry to
you
hear
just
that,
go
bud.
around skipping trailers?
I like skipping trailers because sometimes trailers are really good, but a lot of times they give away too much stuff or there's just too many of them. And I'm sorry.
Yep.
I just can't. I
I
And I
skip
go
them in
with a bunch of
spurts.
people who love trailers. I do not like that.
I do like 2-month spurts because usually they just replay the same trailers. So I'll do
Yes,
like
exactly.
I'll
It's the
go
same
early to
stuff.
one movie and then I'll skip the rest. Yeah.
I know.
Sorry for the tangent.
Mm,
I fucking hate trailers. This whole conversation is the trailer to Jeremy's opinion, which is
Oh, well, hey, let's start off by saying I did my best to not say anything untrue in my argument, and I think I did very good. The cinematography is immaculate, the performances are superb, and like there's this great slow building tension, whatever. And then also the film's portrayal of mental illness and the mentally ill / neurodivergent is fucked. Just totally fucked beginning to end. It's awful. And like it's one of those things where like where the characters I believed them through the dialogue and the performances and stuff. But they're all awful. Like bad people. And by the time we get to the point where like, okay, I really do wish harm on all of these adults, and I'm starting to think like, oh, I should maybe kind of root for the kid that's still alive and not a king of hell, which that's a whole other thing. But at that point in the movie where I start feeling that way, so much has happened to him that there's like absolutely no way for this thing to end without Peter's life being completely ruined in some way. Like that's best case scenario, absolutely ruined, rest of his life, no good. Okay? And like, why? God, why? All right. It's I'm Like this, it's like the movie was designed in a lab to get under my skin, and then it did. Like you have what
It's
just
all the way
seems
under
to
there.
be, yeah, it's all the way under there. You have what seems to be just a perfectly, a perfectly content autistic girl doing arts and crafts in a room, and then the movie's like, actually, that's a king of hell, one of them. Yeah, you thought, man, maybe that's what autism is. You think? And I'm not saying that the director is saying that, and I'm certainly not saying that any of the actors are saying that, but the movie is saying that. It's saying like, oh man, look at all these. It starts off from a position of like, oh man, mental illness is pretty scary. I'm like, that's not great, but it's not terrible. And then it goes from there to be like, oh man, all of these mentally ill people, pretty scary. I'm like, well, that's fucked. Fuck it.
Yeah, I can see your. I totally see the point. I do.
Other than that, great
I like it.
movie. Just other than the things that make me just be like, oh man, fuck this movie. Oh right, and one of my notes, lots of hog in the finale, like more hog than I was expecting. You don't expect the finale to this movie, and
did he mention hog yesterday?
Nope, yesterday was hog free. Today, though, we're back to 0 days.
1 day without hog.
Yep.
Hey, we were
good
close. There were like the mist has tentacles in it. We were almost there, but
we could have got there if they were more realistic tentacles.
Yeah, they were,
right.
But I don't know. And one thing I did kind of stretch the truth about in my argument was that, yeah, the whole cult thing just kind of slams into the third act, just showing up being like, haha, it was I all along. Like, okay. Like, I tuned out like 20 minutes ago, so let's just ride this one.
No, I mean,
all right.
Like I was doing my debating, I was trying not to lie either. So just stretching the truth on things. But yeah, the cult aspect was kind of threw it in your face. Like it's this grief thing, and then it becomes demonic. That's kind of silly, but it was for me. I still enjoyed the show.
Yeah. What grief support group hurt you, Ari? Like, why do you think they're a cult? It doesn't have to be like that.
I know. If not for all that, I would have just considered this movie just a really long-winded endorsement of going to therapy.
Yeah.
Because that family needs some therapy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie brought to you by BetterHelp. And sports gambling. Travis, what do you think? How do you feel about all of Jeremy's takes and everything?
I love Hereditary. My hot take about Ari Aster's career is that a lot of people count this as his best, that he hasn't really outdone himself yet. I think Midsommar is better. I don't think it's as scary, but it's a better film. But like you saw a lot of the inklings of what made that movie so great in this. The direction, the scene, like the settings, that he clearly took time on how he was going to like move the camera and make everything work. Some of the like power punch scenes that he's put into the like, I guess memory hall of horror will stand forever. The head beheading by the telephone pole, the like lighting on fire of the husband, the like I'll never get out of my head the sound of the like saw going through the neck, and then the body like, the squelching of it separating from the neck. Like those three scenes in themselves will be in the horror hall of fame forever. Yeah, he's put his stamp on the genre for sure. I do think I lean into the camp that almost agrees with one of the biggest criticisms of this film, which is that to be crass, it blew its load. The like telephone pole death scene is insane. And
sure.
then the pacing just drastically changes for a while.
Yeah.
And that kind of like jarred me a little bit, but then the end is so crazy as well that it's like, okay, there's a little middle part where Ari didn't quite, he like lost, if we're talking about the analogy of like running a race, like a marathon, he tripped a little, but then he caught his stride again and kept going. All in all, I think it's a fantastic film. Like, I'd give it probably a 7 or 8 out of 10. Really well shot, really well acted. I think a really good exploration of grief. I'll save my thoughts on the neurodivergent thing for. I think, Jeremy, you just gave us our pretentious question of the week. I love that.
Hey.
And I do think
I'm here to
it
help.
actually it gets better with rewatches, which is fun.
Yeah.
Because I think
'cause
one of the accusations that Jeremy just said, and it's fair on your first watch, it's like, where'd this cult come from? But the more I've rewatched it several times, and you pay attention and you start to see little Easter eggs of like, oh, it was there. It was there. It was just maybe really hidden. And we'll talk about that after the break of like how hidden is too hidden. But
Yeah.
I do think if you're going to watch this, it demands at least a second viewing and really keep your eyes out for those hints of like, where is the cult? Because it's there the whole time. It's just, he subtly put it in the background. And I respect that, but I do think it's going to lose some people on the first viewing for being like, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, this is a cult all of a sudden. It isn't until my third viewing, I was like, oh, he had all of this ready.
Yeah,
I
it
just
was
missed it. So,
all throughout. It's crazy.
but I'm a big fan. Hereditary's great. Midsommar's, we haven't talked about that on the show. Go watch Hereditary and then watch Midsommar, because Midsommar is so good.
Midsommar is one of my favorites. I love it. I love that woman getting her revenge.
She gets so much revenge.
Wrong heroines who are murdering and stuff. Those are great.
And to Clay's point of like what grief counselor hurt you, like that's those two movies back to back. I was just like, you're trying to get over something.
You got hella grief, bro.
You got hella grief.
Hella grief. I
Hella
hope that you
grief.
did get over it, Ari. Or learn to work with it at any rate. I don't think you really completely ever defeat that kind of a thing that's that deeply settled in you. I do think this movie does a good job of personifying those kind of mental health battles that people have to face in extremely distressing emotional times. Like, while on one hand, I can definitely understand your point, Jeremy, I just think this is one of those, and I really do. This is one of those movies I think that it is on the margins and it is analyzing the extreme. I don't think this is one of those movies that's trying to say, this is everybody like this. This is every neurodivergent person is this kind of a person. I think because it's literally the curse of being a chosen one, just being chosen by like the worst people possible. So like, I guess in that way for me, it doesn't feel like it was trying to represent an entire demographic and just rather what could happen to any people if they happen to fall into the grasp of something this evil. Yeah. So I guess that was the way I saw it. And I mean, I think it was a great opportunity for an actress, who that was a fantastic role for her. And so I'm glad she got to play something really colossal like that. And she's really, really talented. So I don't know. I guess I didn't see it that way, but I am not in the community either. So I'm totally open to being just completely wrong and dumb about that. I do think this movie is extremely effective though. I mean, I agree with that it slows way the hell down, especially when you establish expectations really quickly with like the light post thing. I think it continues to be scary though. It's a totally different kind of scary because it is in like one or two scenes later is where she like first sees her mom's apparition in the study, and that scene's super creepy. And you're seeing the house stuff move around the entire time. It's very obvious there's like still some supernatural presence right there in the house. but it does take a while before it ramps back up. Personally, I love that structure in horror. So the opposite of Jeremy, like this is the exact kind of horror I want to consume in terms of pacing and like the use of tension. And that's the kind of stuff that scares me. I'm not really afraid of the jump scares, but I love the way Ari handled that. The telephone pole scene is brilliant for so many reasons, like because all the brutality is implied. Like they didn't show you the head exploding or flying off. They showed you the sound, and then they showed you the kid like looking at the ditch over there where he like knew where it was. And then they cut to him like wide awake in bed and hearing his mom's like reaction. Just insane, you know? So freaking dark. And
well, they briefly show the rearview mirror, and like it's like a glance and then away, like you can't.
Right. Yeah, it's great. It's all implied, and he uses that method throughout much of the movie until, like, you know, obviously the sawing scene. But even that, like, we don't fully see the head separate. We just get enough time to figure out what's happening, and then we actually hear the body come off and, like, fall.
Just a wet thump in the attic.
Yep. Like 2 wet thumps. You hear, like, the crumple, and then you hear the head. It's awesome, in my opinion. But that's, you know, I can understand your point, Jeremy. I think you raise a lot of valid points. But we'll discuss it plenty more. Right about now, we're at the top of the hour. And so we are going to go on a 5-minute break. Liz, go ahead and turn off your camera and your microphone. That will make you disappear. And then we will all be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks for fermenting fiction with us. Hello, fermented folks. Welcome to another episode of Fermented Fiction, the first of our new season, and I believe it's season 4. The show where we drink beer and argue with each other and bring on really awesome creative guests.
If you'll permit me to go a little bit outside the box. Once upon a time, apparently, people used to sniff mummy remains, powdered mummy remains, like cocaine. So I think 3 lines of powdered mummy remains, if you can get to that as well. Yeah, that'll get you right to really enjoy the movie, you know?
Dave told us all about making a mead, and I talk shit about Tom Bombadil, as I am wont to do whenever people bring up Lord of the Rings.
You would. You should.
And then that's
everybody
exactly what he made.
Chill about Tom Bombadil, or I'll get unreasonably upset.
So, in your assessment, what did you think of the everyone kind of paired off, or at least a number of people did, like romantically? How'd you feel about that? Did that seem really forced and dumb to you, or?
Tom Bombadil is a merry old fellow with his bright blue jacket and his boots are yellow. Right?
It's our yellow.
Right.
Imagine discovering mummy remains and oh my God, these ancient figures. Dude, what if we crushed this and snorted it, yo? I bet we'd get fucked up.
Let's talk for a moment about the fucking all-star cast in this movie. We have Ewan McGregor slaughtering it the entire time, main character energy, top to bottom. You can't argue with it. Women want him, men want him, everybody wants Ewan McGregor. Okay? If you don't agree with that, you're lying to yourself.
Apparently she had a backstory, but they cut it because she's very hard-nosed at the beginning. And then I will say another pro of this movie is their chemistry is hot. And I feel like if they didn't have that chemistry, I would have been ugh. Because she says at one point, she's like, oh, it's the apocalypse. What are we going to do? Fuck. And he's like, and then later when they are kissing, if they didn't have chemistry and if it was 2 lesser actors, I think it would have been an eye roll, felt cheesy, but you feel their bond.
The Langoliers themselves were originally going to be portrayed by puppets, and I think maybe they should have. Maybe they should have.
Dude, that's amazing.
There's no maybe about that.
And I wish that I could say that there was something greater happening here than the war diary of a broken man living as sort of this White Tower academic. with all of his friends sitting inside the Eagle and Child drinking beer and pretending like, Magic Lion Jesus isn't really silly. Because, I mean, it is. If we can just all be very honest with each other.
The Lord's work out there. Good job.
I like to think that I am. Most people aren't big enough, but I am. I'm willing to step up.
Yeah. Dedicate that
yeah,
time.
settle
You're
twice.
willing to dedicate that time.
The time, the money, all of it.
That was so painful. It's one of those painful things
Oh, that
I've
was
done in my
so good.
life.
That was so good. We've never been so savagely attacked by any author on their show. It's incredible.
Folks, you gotta like, comment, and subscribe. But
You
another thing,
just gotta get in there, man.
we have a different place to go. We've been sending you to Patreon. Don't go there. It doesn't exist anymore.
Don't do it. Go to Substack.
Patreon's a myth.
Substack is not a myth. It's real. Go to Substack.
There
You'll
was
see some
never.
awesome content. You'll see Fermented Fiction content, and you'll see Meathead Media content. Me and my friend Zeb write an article every week, sometimes more than one. And they don't always suck. Zeb's are good. Mine
Not
are
even
sometimes
usually.
Yeah. Batting
Yeah,
average.
definitely go check out.
Pretty good.
Definitely go check out the Substack. Get everything delivered right to your mailbox, including these episodes, or just keep joining us live on YouTube. We appreciate you wherever you find us. And if you really love this show, you could subscribe to us on Substack for $8 a month. You get all this exclusive content, including a members-only Discord. Please do consider doing that. But, do it later, because we got more show for you to listen to right about now.
Yeah, do it. But do it later. And I'm talking to you, Peter. I know you're watching.
Yeah, Peter.
Thank you, Peter, for watching.
Thank you, Peter. Shout out.
Peter.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there's Elizabeth.
Sup, Liz?
Hey.
Now is the time in the show when I ask a bunch of questions and sit back and listen to awesome opinions.
Do it.
Because you know what? I think that's one thing I do okay. There were a lot of stuff that came up. There were some good points on both sides of that debate. Great points on the likes and dislikes. I want to go first with what Clayton ended with, because I think it's a really, really good talking point right now. I know it's been happening forever, and I know everybody's copying everybody, but Hereditary is when I think of like movement movies, and I go back, this whole focus on lighting and sound, which has been, in film forever, but like in horror specifically, the way it's shot, I think, was a huge... I can't think of a movie that kickstarted the way a lot of horror films are shot now. Quite like Hereditary. I might be completely wrong on that, but I want to focus on lighting and sound, because I've watched Backrooms recently, I watched Obsession recently, and both of those, to Clayton's point, play off of lighting and sound for the horror in a lot of amazing ways. And I think that's something that's picking up in indie horror. I think that's something that's maybe has already been picking up since movies like Hereditary. And so I'd just love to hear y'all's opinion on like maybe an example that you think was fantastic with it, and why is it that lighting and sound are so important to focus on when we talk about making really terrifying horror films, because I think it is.
Liz, we'll start with you.
Okay, so are you talking about example just in general in the movie genre, or specifically in the movie?
I'd say specifically in horror, because
just in horror.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you bring up Backrooms, and I know we keep bringing it up, but it's just so fresh in my mind. And it is also an A24 film, and I think there's something to that, because I agree with you where the lighting and cinematography, like everything is starting to become, I mean, I think it's always maybe been there, but maybe it's more popular, this like, that it's like a character in the story. A movie I saw though, and I really like that in Backrooms, but another movie I saw, it was a Sundance movie. Wow, it was brain fog. A Sundance movie, and it was called Saccharine, and it was like the most I don't like watching people eat. I find it vile. I hate the sound it makes. And
Hey,
this movie
same. I'm with you.
Movie is about our obsession with losing weight, and it kind of points off the idea of like these weight loss drugs. And I'm not trying to say that weight loss drugs are bad. I think they're amazing for people. Like they were created for diabetes, like to stop it. So like I have people who I know who take diet medicine, and like that's what they do as long as it's safe. I have no problems with it. But the movie plays off that in a slightly different way, and it exaggerates it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't spoil it. I highly recommend watching it. But it has, and so I mentioned earlier that I'm also a romance writer, and I really like blending the two, romance and horror. And I especially like it when it's blended in like a movie or like a book that I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
And in Akron, it definitely does that. And so there's like these almost like sexual or erotic scenes, or they don't even like get that graphic, but because of the lighting, because of the cinematography, because of the sound, it like gets really under your skin. So sometimes you're like, I'm aroused, sometimes I'm disgusted. And I think that lighting and sound and like the senses are so important. I mean, I'm an editor and in writing, and I'm like, you got to put your sensory imagery because it's like so important.
Mm-hmm.
But in horror and romance, those two, when they're done right, especially when they're combined, and especially horror, it's it makes a whole new movie. And I feel like Hereditary there's always been indie movies, and there's always been great Sundance movies, but I feel like Hereditary is one of those mainstream-ish movies that really kicked it off. And I see it more in these mainstream movies like Backrooms. Like that's a box, like that wasn't just like normal movie theater, even though it started as a YouTube channel, like a YouTube series. But like people are starting to care about it more. Anyway, so long rant on that, but I love it. I think
it's perfect. I think you're.
We always encourage guest ranting. Guest ranting is great.
Good.
I love too that you mentioned the sort of not cross, but like where this fits with both the romance and the horror of like, because I'm not gonna watch the movie because I heard too many people say that it doesn't follow the book, and I tend to be a book purist. But like with the Wuthering Heights trailer.
Oh, like, I have so many thoughts.
Played with sound.
I love that movie, and I like the book.
All
okay.
right. Maybe I'll give it a chance.
Watch it.
It played with the trailer itself played with sound so much that I was like, oh yeah, that is evoking the emotions you want it to, just through like the audio sense of like the breath and the skin crackling.
No, see, okay. People are going to like say it's not exactly like the book, and it isn't, but it's not like the book. Imagine if you read the book, it's going through Heathcliff's whole life, like it's his story. And if you look at it that way, and then you look at the movie is Catherine's story, then it follows the book pretty much. Like yes, it combines some of the characters, but it makes for this. Anyway, I think it follows it way more, and there's going to be sex because that's what they would have done if it wasn't through Nellie's like perspective in the book. So I will die on that hill.
You're saying give it a chance.
Give it a chance, and just expect it as if it's Catherine's point of view and not Heathcliff's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Catherine's life, not Heathcliff's life, if that makes sense.
Just so you know, Liz, I'm pretty sure Zeb's gonna clip that. So our social media guys clipping and using that shit.
No, and I'm doing a book club, and it's a classic book club, and we are going to talk about Wuthering Heights, and I'm going to tell them about the movie, and I'm going to say, yeah, you guys, you're dumb if you don't. Just kidding. Everyone is entitled to
Oh, shit.
And Liz's book club only lasted one meeting for some reason. Nobody came back.
Like it ended in a fist fight? Am I reading this right?
They did some similar.
Scary, okay?
Yeah,
that's
they did
true.
Some similar stuff with the new Pride and Prejudice trailer for the Netflix ones. I'm excited because that one I have read a couple times, and I'm a big fan. So I'm very curious to see where Netflix takes it. But Jeremy, what do you think about lighting and sound and the importance it has in horror specifically?
Well, I mean, the importance it has in horror specifically is the same importance it has in literally every movie. Like the visuals and the sound, that's like 2/3 of what any movie is. It is to movies what like the narration is in books. It is responsible for creating the atmosphere that you're trying to be engrossed in, and like telling, and ideally should tell most of the story. And like the role it plays in horror is that people should use that to tell the story. It just so happens that it ends up being, not only in horror but in so many other things, like the sound and the visuals, they get overlooked or just used to hide the limitations of like the budget or actors, or to just fill things in. I assume a lot of people have seen how much cinematography was used in one of the Taken films to make it look like Liam Neeson could still jump over a fence.
Yeah.
The infamous 13 cut fence
Yeah,
jump.
it's like
so great.
If you have not seen that, go look it up on YouTube.
13
It is a
shaky ass
masterclass.
cuts to get Liam Neeson over one fence.
I wish we
so
had the technology for me to play clips and any money to get like licensing. I would play that clip so hard right now if I could.
It's so hard. that clip is comedy.
It's comedy gold.
Yeah, it's so good. And not in any way it was trying to be. But
no.
I think this movie specifically, it does a fantastic job throughout of using every part of the cinematic experience to really just get you to the edge of your seat and not an inch further.
Right.
Like every time you hear a little, you're like, oh, what? No, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even have to see anything, and you're just creeped out. So
And that head scene is like, that lives in my memory forever. Of the
You mean with the ants?
No,
that.
the
Yeah,
sign,
it's great.
like, yeah.
yeah.
And
So
you
good.
don't see it, and I think you guys also really touched on that with the telephone pole of like, you don't see.
Yeah, you
the
just hear
beheading,
like,
but you hear it. You get enough of a sense to be like, that just happened, and it's terrible.
I know. Just hearing it is so much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound is like it enhances a scene in the best and worst ways.
I just watched a movie that I'll mention after Clayton goes, but he knows which one I'm talking about, that like played off that entirely, and it was so terrifying. But Clay, what do you think about all this?
I agree. I mean, with Jeremy, as that sweeping statement is true, but I also think there are some specific ways that it's uniquely beneficial in horror. Sound plays a massive role in tension, especially in movies, because and it goes in cycles kind of, I think, but for a long time, you didn't know if you were supposed to be scared until you heard the scary music. And there was that was one of the things that, Hitchcock used to great effect. He used really intense scores. The score from Psycho is famous for a reason. Those stabs have kind of a visceral feeling to them, all their own, especially paired with the imagery. So it was you can do that really effectively, or you can lean all the way into the realism of it and focus on how gross it is just to hear stuff happen. And in a lot of ways, I think, at least to me, I'd be interested to see what you guys think. But to me, in a lot of ways, that realistic kind of visceral horror is way more effective, because the simplicity or almost quietness of a person dying can be really terrifying too. How little it actually takes. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me, that's so scary to me, because I'm just that's what it would sound like. That's all it would take, and you would barely know, it sounds the same as hitting your mirror. And it's that quick and everything's over, I don't know if you guys have seen The Dark Magician. It's a documentary about Dean Potter, who was a really famous adventure sports guy and rock climber and cliff base jumper. But like, they have footage of his GoPro when he crashed, but it's facing backwards, so they're allowed to show it because it just shows the sky. But you hear it. You can hear him hit the tree, and it's just like that. It's just like, and it's just a little tumble, and it's like, but he was going like 100 miles an hour.
Oh, God.
And so like, yeah, it's crazy, you know, how quick it happens and how understated it would be in real life for a lot of these kind of scenarios. And to me, that really leans into what this whole movie does, which is like, there's a lot of, this is what it might actually look like to it, while also being extremely over the top and intense. So I think the sound and the lighting both play into that effect. Like, I think Astor wanted it to feel real, but also to feel like you could see enough of yourself in it. There's enough of the real world in it that is what makes it scarier. And the slowness of the possession is also part of that. Because like, I don't honestly think, and this is a long ramble, but I don't honestly think that the like timeline is massively different from most horror movies. It's not like it takes place over the course of years. It's still probably like, what is it, a couple weeks tops?
Yeah.
Or it might even just be a few days.
Maybe a month at most.
Yeah, because she does die and then it goes to the funeral. But like after her funeral, I'm not entirely sure how long that whole thing takes, but probably not that long. They just make us live in each day longer.
Yep.
Which is also effective in like a grief horror narrative to me, because that's like how it feels. You feel like, man, this is just every day just drags and feels like a week, you know? So I think that slowness was effective. And again, it's all accomplished through that combination of vision, light, and sound. But the lighting in this movie is fantastic. They leaned into it there too. Like, it's dark enough that it feels like it's actually a dark room, not like a movie pretending it's dark. And the like type of lighting they use, I think they were really intentional about making it actually look like a room lit by that type of lighting. Whereas like we were watching something the other day and they had like a candle, but the room was like lit. And it was like, that's, I don't know if you've ever held a candle and used that in like a pitch black room as a primary source of light, but it's not as bright as you think.
Clay, they made candles different back in the day.
Yes, they were less bright.
The opposite being the Battle of Winterfell, where it's like, that's how it would be. That's how it's like, we need to see it though.
Exactly.
We're trying to see it though.
So it would be.
Well, that's how it would be. Look, like, your eyes adjust to darkness at a certain point, so you would be able to see something, actually.
Yes. You have to find that balance.
One of my favorite interview quotes of all time is from Peter Jackson talking about the Two Towers, Helm's Deep fight. Days with Travis mentioning Lord of the Rings 0. And
there you go,
someone reportedly, he was asked like, hey, where's all this light coming from, Peter? And because it's just like a totally lit scene, and he's like, the same place as the orchestra.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. People want to see the battle. I love all your comments. I love that you brought lighting in there at the end, Clay, because the movie I was going to talk about that Clayton told me to watch, and I did, and I'm so glad I did, is another A24, Undertone.
Yeah, Undertone's
Literally,
sick.
The whole movie is about lighting and sound, and there's like, it plays off like the corners are dark enough that you're like, did I actually see someone there? And then it goes away, and then it comes back, and you're like, no one's there now. I think I might have just imagined that. And like, I think Hereditary does great with that. Backrooms does great with its lighting, and especially like bright light horror is always fascinating to me. Of like, you can see every corner, but it's still, things are hidden
like
somehow.
too much
That's
almost.
yeah, super freaky. And then if you haven't gone out and watched Obsession, we're gonna talk about it on the show. I think I'm gonna argue it. So you know what?
Wednesday.
Maybe don't watch it. Maybe do. I'm not gonna tell you my opinion right now. But you have talked about, again, one of the big points in this film that is a point of contention, one that I brought up, and that's pacing. And I would love to hear from all of you. about pacing in horror. Do you have a preference of the type of pacing in a story, book, or movie? Doesn't matter. And why? Why is that your preference? Maybe another example, if you have one, that does it well. Elizabeth.
So I tend to like the slower pacing, and I say that with caution because there was a movie, and I was going to look it up, but then you called on me, so I can't remember the name of it. But it's a very popular movie that just came out, and everyone in the horror community loves it. And it's the one with the lady who's a witch. The crazy.
Weapons.
Weapons. Okay, so everyone loves that, and I'm sorry I'm about to get a lot of hate, but I didn't
shit.
I didn't really like it. I liked, and I didn't. There were a lot of like cool moments, and there were some really like with the kids, like at the end, like that was really cool. But I didn't. I don't know, and like the guy that was running with the bulgy eyes, like there was really cool imagery. But I didn't always like the writing in it because I thought it was like inconsistent. But I also thought the pacing felt inconsistent, and the pacing started too slow for me, which was really weird because Hereditary, Backrooms, they all have like this slower pace, but for some reason I liked those better, and it must have been something about the atmosphere, or like I can't really put my finger on why, but the pacing with Weapons just felt a little to me. I don't know. But then it got the pacing changed and it felt inconsistent, just like the writing. So I didn't love it. But that was one where, I didn't really like, but I do generally like the slower pace, and then maybe like something crazy happens and there's fast pace and then it kind of slow. But I need it to be like, I need it to make sense. It has to be, it's part of the script. It has to be part of it. It can't just be random to me.
I love the wild card energy you're bringing to the show with that take, Elizabeth. Like, I know, Travis, you asked for an example of something I enjoyed. Let me dunk on Weapons real quick.
Let's just bounce around it.
You have landed in the podcast where your opinion is 50-50 there. Jeremy also is not a fan of Weapons. So.
Yeah.
So you have company. You have company amongst this whole fan group. Jeremy, speaking of company, what do you think of pacing? Do you have a preference on a movie, of what type and why?
Well, I mean, my instinct is to say like I appreciate a faster paced narrative, but I honestly think that's mostly because that's an easier thing for someone to kind of do and not stumble too badly. It's kind of hit or miss. Like, I really don't have a preference for the pace of a narrative. Because a well executed fast or slow story is going to like be incredible. I think this movie, the way it plays with pacing, is really, really good. Like, it seems like it's going one way, and it starts like sort of building that pace right up until the point where you knock a little girl's head off, and then you, like the movie, like you watching it, it backs off a little bit to be like, oh shit, what happens now? And you feel that, and I think it's a lot like Elizabeth was saying, is just, it's just gotta fit. It's gotta fit where you're putting it, and it just feels off when it feels off, Like, I've sat through plenty of really long movies that didn't feel as long as they were, and plenty of pretty short movies that felt a week long. So
yeah, same.
Yeah, and I will say, I think I'm the one that criticized the pacing the most. But when I'm thinking back on, like, my in-theater experience versus my rewatch experience, in theaters, I might retake my take earlier, because in theaters I remember being like so jarred by the beheading scene that I like needed a minute.
Yeah.
And like it paced it out well, where I was still like, oh my word, what did I just witness? And then by the time I was like, I think I'm okay now, it like lit a guy on fire, and I was like, ah! Like, I'm not okay anymore. You know? So
Yeah.
I think I retake what I said about, because I'm remembering my in theater experience with this movie, and like it was actually pretty good that it slowed down for a bit and did more of that creeping terror kind of style, and then waited for the next jump scare.
Yeah. Oh, well, I just wanted to, before we go too far, Travis, I wanted to ask, because you said that your movie experience was different than like the rewatch experience at home. Do you think it was because of like, because I don't watch, when I watch movies in the theater, I don't pull up my phone. I don't even have like, I'm just trained not to. And so I feel like I'm engrossed into it way more. But when I'm at home, it's a lot more tempting to pull out my computer or pull out my phone, even if it's just for a few seconds. And I think it probably does change things. Do you think maybe that happened with you, or like maybe that's why the experience is different?
Possibly. I'm pretty anti pulling out your phone.
Yeah.
He's got
one of those.
Yeah.
But I do think what happens, and I'm going to use sports analogies. Clay just mentioned this before, of like, I don't remember who the podcaster was that talked about like watch one player in a game and focus on them. My
Shout out
realm is
Travis Rogers, Locked On Rams. Let's go.
My realm that is making me think of this is fighting sports. Of like, when I first initially watch a fight, I'm like every other fan. You know, I'm waiting for the big moment. And so like you can maybe initially view a fight as boring the first time if no big knockout stuff is happening. But when you rewatch one for like the technical aspect of the fighter, maybe before they're going into their next fight, to be like, okay, where are they gonna try and win? You start to like view them, and that kind of like amps up like little movements and stuff. This is almost the opposite, where I think like when you're first initially in the theater, those big moments are hitting bigger, and then you're like having to maybe come down or come up from those. And then when I rewatch, I'm like, okay, now I'm looking for the cult stuff. Oh, there it is. Oh, and now it's getting kind of slow because there's no cold stuff. Or like, oh, and now I'm looking for like, oh, I remember that one scene. I want to see how that was done. It happened. Okay, now I'm a little bored here. Oh, there's that next big scene. That's what I was looking for. If that makes any sense. I think it like the way you look at the thing can really change how that pacing is affected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clay,
If you're a
any
big
thoughts?
enough nerd, every fight is interesting.
That's 100% true.
It's true. That's very true.
100% true.
Absolutely.
Which is a good segue into my point. I do think that plot gets a little too much credit for pacing, and we don't give enough credit to your relativity to the character. I think that has a lot to do with like pacing too. The more we're invested in our characters, the more we're invested in their conversations and their interests and their goals and their sex life and whatever the movie uses to connect us to our character and to the themes of the movie. So like you will watch a movie that's mostly conversations if you care about the conversations. And a lot of that is that's just as present in any script as is the stage direction and as is the descriptions of the world. So yeah, I mean, I think it varies in that way. Like we were talking about The Mist yesterday, for example. That movie feels 5 hours long to me because I like don't care about any of the characters at all, you know? And I'm a character guy. But I can watch there's a lot of episodes of like Firefly, for example, where fucking not a whole lot actually happens. Like they go to they basically do the space version of going to the grocery store. There's a few like harder things for them, but mostly what they're doing is like they're trying to pick up some supplies from somewhere, and inevitably somewhere is fucked in some way or another.
Somewhere sucks.
And they
Somewhere
have to
is
like
not great.
Yeah, they have to fuck their way through it. And they do, they do it every time. And we keep signing up because we care about the characters. So I don't know. That's kind of my take on pacing that hasn't been said already. I've already stated that I like slow burns, and I like movies that are really heavily invested in the characters and their like day-to-day humanizing moments. I'm a big fan. The more of those that you sneak into a movie that to me feel real, the more I will love the movie and feel related to the characters. And like I don't know if you guys have seen Widow's Bay yet, but
Not yet.
that show
I've heard it's
fucking slaps.
Nice.
You guys got to watch it. We might have to debate it because I loved it. I'm gonna watch it again, and I won't debate it because you now already know my opinion. We'll find somebody else. I think Jeremy would be good for it.
I think you'll find it hard to say that I know anything at all.
I will be surprised if you don't like this one, Jeremy. I think that you will. But yeah, we should watch it. It's a really good example of this as well, of just like, I'm such a sucker for when I watch somebody do something and I'm like, that's what it would actually look like. Let's go to 0 Days of Clay referencing Breaking Bad and talk about like...
I almost referenced it.
Right.
You could have just waited, Clay. It wouldn't even have been you.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, it's too late now. I've done it. But the Walt and Jesse scenes are the best. You know, like if you've ever been in a fight with like a drunk friend, it's like, yeah, we don't look like MMA fighters. We look like fucking idiots. And that's why like fighting doesn't look glorious in real life. It's just like dirty and rough and clumsy. And like you might eventually get to a place where it's not if you train enough, but for most average people, if you've never fought, it's not gonna go the way you think.
Yeah, it's gonna be two aggro dipshits rolling around on the floor for a bit
and grunting. It's just
even a well-trained fighter versus a non-well-trained fighter is either going to still be ugly or be over in like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it's not going to be glorious.
Yeah,
I love
no
that
glory will be had.
The dialogue thing, because I've had people say that of like, oh, I hate movies with a lot of talking. I'm like, have you watched Aaron Sorkin? Because you probably don't. It's like it's like when people say I hate steak. It's like, okay, if you're a vegetarian, legit. If you're not, like you probably just haven't had good steak. You just need to have steak cooked.
If you eat meat and you think you don't like steak, just stop getting it well done. It's bad.
That's why you don't like it.
Wild game. I'm like, people are like, oh, I hate game meat. I'm like, yeah, you have it from the right person, you might not. You know, I think that's the same thing with the pacing type. I want to talk about 2 questions in one. I wrote down 2 questions, but I'm going to combine them into one.
Okay.
Subtlety and Easter eggs. Because, again, I stand by on a rewatch. I do think the cult has a lot more to do with the whole overall scope of things than people first maybe initially see. But it's very subtle. And, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the balance of that. How much subtlety is too much subtlety? What do you think about this movie's use of subtlety, use of the putting things in the background and revealing them slowly? All the things that stem off of that. Maybe if you have more examples of good uses of that, you don't have to. But where do you see that fits in? Also, I'm going to go off camera for a second, but I will still hear you. So,
Elizabeth.
Goodbye. So, did you want me to start? I guess I'll just... Yeah, with subtlety.
Yeah, get in there.
Okay. Well, just kind of saying the same stuff that we've already said about this movie in particular is that when you first watch it, it does feel like the cultness just kind of comes out of nowhere and it's just like wham in your face. But after rewatching it multiple times, you can start going, oh, right. Like even the telephone pole is like, you know, a symbol and like the people standing outside or like the drawings, like if you pay attention, I mean, theoretically, if you paid attention really, really well in that first watch, you probably would hit a lot of these. But I do think, I don't know, I feel like it's really fun to have an Easter egg and keep rewatching, but it still has to be good enough of a movie. And I like Hereditary, so I would rewatch it. But like just in general, like I feel like it has to be good enough of a movie that even if it's subtle, that people will want to rewatch it. So you have to give like a little bit for people to go, what else am I missing? You know? Because I wish it would have been just like maybe, I don't know, a few more things to make it a little bit more obvious, but maybe that would have missed the mark of what the movie was trying to portray. So,
Yeah. Can you think of an example of a movie that you really enjoy this sort of Easter eggs that are planted throughout to reveal something piece by piece?
well, I mean, like, other than Hereditary, I mean, I think Midsommar, like, let's look at his other movie, right? Or their other movie. I feel like throughout that whole movie, you're trying to figure out what is happening. I mean, and it's good enough that you really don't need to worry about seeing any of the hidden meanings. But then, like, at the end, it's like, oh, okay, and then you can like rewatch it and be like, man, he's definitely gonna get his comeuppance. And you know what? It was gonna be a cultist thing the whole time when like they were sleeping with the baby, like in that hut with the babies. And I'm like, man, I probably will never have kids, but if I was going to have kids, it would be in that village. Because I just want like, I'd want a baby, but then like, I don't want to like care for it all the time. Like I want to
another
be, like,
hot take.
Yeah. Like the community mother, like we're all mothers, you know, like mothers, fathers, we're all there. We're taking care of 100 kids, but we're only taking care of them like 10% of the time. I just want to be an aunt for a lot of people, I guess.
Hey, listen, if we're talking
Village
historically, there was a lot of that. You know, there was a lot of
well, exactly, and that's why. But like in this, in Midsommar, right? Like it feels like it's kind of going back to this like more natural old way. And I think those they're like hinted throughout, even in the very, very beginning when he's talking, like inviting her to come as well on this trip. Like it feels like it's like why, like strip away the modern stuff and come back. And I think there's something nice about that. But, yeah.
I think I wanna shout out Peter Roche has been in the chat. I hope, Peter, I didn't share a story I shouldn't have. But he talked about, with all of these themes, The Invitation from 2015. Very undersung, fantastic film. I think everybody should check it out. Another one that's come up just listening to you on that last point, Elizabeth, is if anyone's not watched The Gift with Jason Bateman, that movie is phenomenal with Easter eggs, because it's like there's all these little hints you get that Jason, I'm going to spoil it, everybody. Jason Bateman's character starts as a good person, and then you slowly realize he was a piece of garbage. And like there's stuff early in the film that like shows those little hints of like, oh, this guy actually sucks. Like, he's causing all of this. So that's another one that not a lot of people I know have seen that's just fantastic with a lot of these themes. But Clay, what do you think of Easter egg placement and subtlety?
Well, I love subtlety. And I love Easter eggs. I especially love when they're done at the same time, hand in hand and together. One of the, again, another shout out to Widow's Bay, but it does this phenomenally. Like all throughout the show, there's tiny, tiny, tiny things that I think are really kind of a shout out to the horror audience. Because like if you're a horror fan, you kind of know where to look. And they give you like a lot of that to kind of chew on because it's like a horror comedy. So I think it gets away with giving just a little more to you than like a movie that's trying to be super dramatic and broody does. Like, and I like both sides of that. Like I like movies that they make me figure it out. I enjoy those movies a lot. And Astor's movies are more like that usually. And I enjoy movies that give me like as much as I would want without giving me too much and being too obvious about it. But like in the show, for example, like there's just a lot of instances of like tiny things like, oh, that book was closed, or like the cup was on top of the book when they walked away. Sometimes the characters notice it, but most of the time they actually don't, which I really like too. Like there's even a part where she runs outside and she like looks in her car and then she goes back in and the door is open, but she had closed it. But like it is totally realistic that you would not be sure or even not even think about it because you're thinking about what you just went outside to check your car for, you know? Yeah. So I love Easter eggs like that kind of blend into the background. I really like when nobody notices them or points to them because they're such a part of the world. And I think Hereditary is a really good example of that. There's like effigies all over her fucking room. Like, and nobody says anything about it. They're just like, grandma, she is quite a lady. Boy, she'd get mad if she came over and you didn't have those effigies up. So, we just found it was easier to leave them up. But it kind of feels like, like that actually is kind of a family thing that I could see happening if you were raised in that family and didn't see it as strange. Then yeah, and there's plenty of like cultural stuff there where in a lot of situations that would not be a bad evil thing. So it's understandable. So I like that too.
The amount of dolls our grandma has.
Yeah.
It's like a thing. All older women.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things.
Terrifying.
Hey, they weren't considered nightmarish at the time.
Yeah. My grandma had a whole doll
Should have been
glass case. It was a giant case of dolls. And
I think I went into our grandparents' bedroom like one time as a little kid and like looked in the corner and saw this chair of like dolls and I was like, never again.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, that's the room.
I'll stay downstairs.
Grandma's basement.
That makes me weird.
Yeah, grandma. The
right by the stairs. Yeah, and the doll room is right by the bottom of the stairs. Just the perfect place for a doll to creak that fucker open, peer around the corner at you. Yep. Next thing you know, you got it fingers on your shoulders.
Yeah, and I'm terrified.
And
Jeremy,
you're floating just like everybody else.
Jeremy, save us from floating, please.
Yeah, stop us from floating in this soup of discordant chatter.
Not to get us back on track, but I think my I'm going to go ahead and agree with everybody's take on the Easter eggs. Good job, everyone. We did it. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that I don't think the cult stuff was all that like subtle, like that you would miss it and it would come out of nowhere, because it was just pretty consistently throughout just the whole thing. And yeah, you'll get probably more of it on a rewatch. Watched it one time, I'm like, oh, she's got a necklace in the casket. And that guy's grinning pretty weird at the funeral at me. That's upsetting. They're like, oh, that symbol is freaking everywhere. And there are just grown-ass adult people shouting at kids from across the street the whole time. Like, probably a cult is going to happen. And that's fine. I think they did probably just the right amount to keep me from being like, well, this is too much. Mm-hmm. Let's dial it back. Let's leave some suspense.
I think a lot of the subtlety is with the symbol, because I'm telling you right now, it's more places than you think. That bitch is everywhere. And I think maybe I saw some that weren't there, but I think you already put it more places than the audience kind of saw on first watch, which I think is
possible. That some bitch was everywhere.
It was.
Okay, this is I hope a fun question.
Is this pretentious question of the week?
This is not. I'm gonna slip one in, hopefully quick, and then we'll get to. Well, we might have to not have pretentious question of the week if we come up on top, but I really want to ask this one. How researched do you want your possession films to be? here's where I come at this from. Of like, I get more scared on a like deep theological level, because I very much believe in like the demonic and stuff. When it's a real demon that I like look up the name of the demon and it's like, oh yeah, this was in this like ancient text and is referenced in these things, I'm like, what did I just watch?
Yeah.
So like,
damn it,
is that
I've got
good
the demons
for y'all,
now.
or is that like a little? Does it make it like, what kind of creepy feeling does that provide? Is it like a good creepy feeling? You're like, oh yeah, this guy did his research, so he like it made a better movie. Or is it one of those things of like, I wish, because I've seen movies where it's a real demon, but then they get like one thing wrong, and I'm like, oh, that's fine. They got it wrong. Like, it's okay. It's okay. I can sleep a little better at night. But yeah, how researched do you want your possession films to be? Because that freaks me out when they're a little too close to exactly what they're talking about.
Well, for me, I'd have to say it's the same thing with any part of the movie. I think it should just be well researched, because it's just, if the possession's a really important part of the movie, then it should show how much they care about the movie. So it's not a big deal. It's the same thing with, like, I love The Mummy, the movie with Brendan Fraser and stuff. And there are parts of it that are actually more or less accurate to, like, I don't know. Like, there's certain things, like there is like the Book of the Dead or whatever, like theoretically, and you know, the mummies and the curses, like theoretically that, you know, there's like parts of it that could be real, but like the more, and obviously there's a lot of fake stuff too, but like the more real it is, the more I like it. So if there were like some things in The Mummy where they could have like leaned into the realness of it, and it would have made it more fun for me, because then it would have just been like, wow, like obviously the mummies are not going to come and kill us all and stuff, but I just like in the that like whole research writer perspective, I just think it's important. How much do you care about your story? You know, like, do you just want to throw something out, or do you want to be like this? Because it's another hidden Easter egg, right? It's like, no, who's gonna like look at it except for people who really care about like seeing the backstory? And it's just like the characters, like the more I know about them, the more I like them. So if I really like the movie, I'm gonna like research a bunch, and the closer it is, the more I like it.
Follow-up question: does it make it spookier for you? Because like that's I think the one thing with demon movies, that when I like research the demon, and it's actually been in like demonology, and like there's a lot of stuff.
I think
like,
it's cool.
Again,
I don't know. I don't get that scared with demon sort of stuff. But I think it's really fun. It makes it more creepy, but I don't say I think I'm that scared about it.
That makes sense. I will reference Undertone again, of like looking that one up and all the stuff that goes on in that film. You gotta watch Undertone. And the way it ends,
good example.
I was like, I gotta shed this. I gotta shed this right now.
Well, could be real. I don't know. Like, and the more research it is, maybe it is. Maybe they're gonna bring back demons. I want to know. Make it real.
Yep.
Yes, make real demons.
Make it real demons. Liz learned nothing from Hereditary.
Nope, nothing.
So, you know, in terms of believing in the demonic as they appear in the Bible, I wouldn't say I agree in those any more or less than I agree in believe in a lot of other things, or other interpretations of what demons are. I do believe there's something supernatural in the world, but I have never seen enough of it to be afraid of it personally. Like, I don't believe I've seen a ghost or anything mystical in the woods, but I still, just out of respect, do typically avoid saying like some of the names of creatures that you're not supposed to say.
I would say those things just to see what happens.
You live in their country. Go out there and shout around and report back to Fermented Fiction, please. But don't do it as one of them. We do not invite you on the show. Yes. Do it for the gram. But yeah, you would blow up. You know, you would blow the hell up if you could show some of that. But yeah, so I wouldn't say I'm more creeped out by it from that. I love the motif though. I like to be creeped out, and I do find those endings to be nice and creepy. I like endings that make you feel like you've become part of the story inevitably. Ringu did that. Sinister did that. And I think a lot of movies that end in that way are really fun. Paranormal Activity kind of does that. Most found footage does that throughout, right? That's kind of its motif. Which, by the way, another movie with really, really good Easter egg placement that goes through the entire franchise is Hell House LLC. That series universe is really, really fun if you like found footage and creepy clowns. And demons and all kinds of good stuff. If you like horror, go watch Hell House LLC. It's really fun. But yeah, I guess that's my answer. Doesn't make it creepier for me. I do enjoy it. And in terms of how much research to do, I guess I should answer that question. I agree with Liz. You have to do enough that you're being respectful of anything, especially when you're dealing with the supernatural, because pretty much all supernatural stuff is based on someone's real, truly held beliefs, and it's not really cool to fuck around with that. But I do think that there's also a level of like relativity to the tone of your story that forgives certain changes. I also think there's a place for absurdity and bizarro. I also think there's a place for telling your own spin on something. Like, I would never claim that the creature in my books is any specific kind of creature. But it is definitely based upon those kind of creatures, and it's my take on like a weird pagan god skin stealer thing. You know, like but it is definitely my take. I'm not pretending it is anything that really is folklorically or mythologically or religiously believed. So I think there's a place for that as well, where you can put your own spin on the supernatural, but you just have to be honest with that. And again, do enough of your research that you're not being disrespectful or being a douche. I think that is requisite. Yeah. That you pay the requisite respect. But there's also a place for, you know, comedy and everything like that. Like, it just depends on the tone, and however serious you want people to take you, your research should relatively match that. Like, that's your job. If you expect me to take you seriously, then you better take the movie seriously. If you're doing Tucker versus Dale and you don't really give a shit about like the folkloric history of zombie mythology, then that's fine. Shoot the guy with the shotgun and do Tucker and Dale. So I don't know. That's because you could get deep into any mythology or supernatural creature that's at all based on something real, and you'll probably have a hard time finding movies that depict them super accurately unless they're trying to be taken seriously like that.
Oh, yeah. And to toot Clayton's horn, my brother's horn, because he's being humble. He did a lot of research, and I know he was a history major. He knows his stuff about, you know, a lot of those different kind of cultural aspects of Wendigo type creatures before he took his own spin on it. And I think it's one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard. I don't know who it's by, but like, you have to know the rules to break them. I think that's like the same thing with, you have to know what you're borrowing from to put your own spin on it. Like, don't just be like, I'm going to do vampires and just do them. Like know where you're coming from, know what's out there, and you're probably not creating something original, because nothing is.
Yeah, and ironically, I said comedy can let you get away with things, but I should also be clear that I think some of the best research stuff actually has to be comedy. It's way harder to make fun of something like effectively and respectfully than it is to try to portray it. Like, you made me think of that when you said what vampires, Travis, because I think of What We Do in the Shadows, and it's like they have consumed so much vampire content that they can like weave every trope in like really seamlessly and really hilariously, because it's like literally part of the vampires' lives is just these things, you know. Like, one of my favorite scenes in all of movies, all horror comedies for sure, is that scene where he's like, I can't remember the French vampire's name, but he's getting the room all gussied up to make sure she has a really nice final experience. But he's also putting down like towels and shit. You know, it plays really well on that trope of the like the friendly vampire that I quite enjoyed. But you know, that's my rant on all that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's good to rant, especially when I've like, and I promise I don't try to be like contrarian on purpose.
Sure.
I just do have maybe garbage opinions sometimes. But like, when we start talking about like supernatural elements, like magic, mysticism, ghosts, whatever, and like, I honestly don't give like a wet slap about the realism of what you're trying to portray. Like, if you're like trying to put like a culturally recognized name on it, like, yeah, maybe you should try to make sure that you know what you're doing. But like, all things being equal, like doing research and knowing what you're talking about from the standpoint of like folklore and or like theological like realism from that perspective, it can be cool. For the person who is going to just straight up Google everything you've put in there as soon as the movie's done, I'm generally not one of those people.
Sure.
If do the research, but if it gets in the way of telling the story, I think that's a problem. And if it doesn't add to the story, that's probably fine. You'll just make certain enthusiastic nerds really happy. And they need a win, you know?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
that's my last follow-up question. Then I don't think we'll make it to the neurodivergent one, but you know what? Maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's for the best.
It might be.
My last follow-up question on that is, I like what you said, Jeremy, of maybe make some super cool nerds happy, but like how much should writing, or maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it, but I think you'll get what I'm saying, is like how much should writing adhere to the people who know what is being written about extremely well? Because like I'm thinking of the last Conjuring film. I'm a Catholic theology nerd, and the last Conjuring film took me out of any horror element of it several times because I was like, you're doing the whole Catholic theology thing, and all this wouldn't happen. Like this is not, the squares are not fitting. So like I wasn't scared anymore. I wasn't even really interested anymore because there were several scenes that I was like, as a person who actually knows how or has researched how these things go down according to the thing that you're writing, this is not how it goes down. So I guess that's my question first to you, Elizabeth, and then Jeremy and Clay, of like, to what level should a writer kind of really dive into like making sure that person who knows the thing is going to be satisfied by the product?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to know your audience, right? I mean, because it just kind of echoing almost what everyone has kind of said, where it's like there are some movies, research doesn't really matter because the audience specifically doesn't care. But I do think there is something with that respect, and it's just Easter eggs, like it's just all about like how much effort in writing and in directing do you want to put in to the story, because it doesn't have to be obvious, it doesn't have to be like on the nose, but it's just like really sometimes like I'll see inconsistencies in movies where they're so simple to fix and like it's not a big deal. Like I bring up The Mummy because I looked it up recently because I was like, what? How similar is it? But you know those jars of like the different organs and everything?
Yeah.
And well, I guess it wasn't that recent when I looked it up, but they had like the jars were like it was just an inconsistent, like it wasn't the correct number to what would actually have been when the mummies like were put in. So it could have been like a really, really simple fix. Like maybe, yes, that had to be with like the amount of actors, but like I want to say, and I'd have to look it up to be, but like when the mummy's like talking and he's like, where are the rest of the jars? And like he has one that's like broken, like they could have played on that and given the accurate, so I'm just like, there's sometimes with movies or books that are like so simple. If you just did even a simple Google search where I'm like, how much do you care? And I love The Mummy. Like I'm saying, I'm not trying to hate on it. It's just the thing that came to my mind. But it would have made it so much more realistic in a way, even though I know it's really fake. Obviously it's a fantasy, but it would have made it more real to me. And like, I would have cared more about that. And, you know, again, it's The Mummy and how many people are looking it up and checking. But I feel like it's just know your audience and just be respectful and care. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to skip in line, but I'll be done after this. I think to your point of know your audience and also like consistency with the franchise too, because I think that's what got me with The Conjuring is like The Conjuring is by movie one has well established itself in the like Christian realm of what demons and the weapons against demons are, and one of those, according to that theology, is faith. And yet by the fifth movie, I think for shock factor, they just have this priest get like randomly taken over in this like sequence of like he goes crazy and he kills himself, and it's like, but you've never shown me that he lost his faith. It's so easy to give me like two scenes where maybe he's drinking too much, maybe he like goes to pray from his Bible and he shuts it, and it's like, oh, you've given me hints that, oh, he's actually not faithful, which is the thing that you need to defeat these demons, which you've shown me in the last three movies. And yet in this movie, it's like, no, the demon just takes over him. And it's like, that's not how this works. Like, you've given me those rules before, and now you're breaking them.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because now you as an audience member, I bet you're not going to go see the rest of the movie, like any newer movies, right? And it's like, it would have been so simple. And it would have expanded it, like, even for people who, like me, who don't know a lot about theology, in that, like, in a really in-depth way, like, it still would have colored the character in a better way. So I agree.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
This is one of those things. And yeah, I think there are two possible ways to go about, this whole thing. Like to make people who know stuff happy, I think you do have to either distance yourself from whatever the real thing is, like do something through the tone of what you're doing, or exposition, or character actions, or something, to just communicate, hey, this isn't going to be like the real thing, and it's not supposed to be. There are a lot of things about the greatest movie of all time, Speed Racer, that
Zero Days.
Zero Days. Thank you.
Speed Racer.
But like,
we've done them all in one episode. Elizabeth has done all of the things.
I love it.
We bring out the worst in each other, truly. But no, if we're talking about like that is not a movie where where someone can realistically be expected to go like, well, a car can't accelerate that way, and those things, the physics just simply don't make sense. Yeah, the movie knows. The movie told you the moment it started exactly what to expect from the movie. You can set aside your car knowledge because it will do you no favors here.
This is not F1.
This is not F1.
You're not watching F1.
This is what people who don't like Fast and the Furious movies think they are. Okay? That's what we're at. And the movie makes no secret about it. Yes, Carter Comics, speed. Absolutely.
Speed.
Now, and like, that was the one answer. The other answer is, do the shit out of your research. If you're trying to do a thing, like a known thing, and you're trying to have it be taken seriously, do that. Do any amount of research. One of the things that like just gets what I have a go-to example for this, where
is it Armageddon?
Armageddon's
a great example.
Armageddon,
so good.
I think, is a better example of the first thing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, like
a quote.
So there's this movie. It is a romantic comedy called Little Italy, and it stars Hayden Christensen and somebody else. Whatever. Him and his love interest, they're supposed to be like chefs, professional cooks, or whatever. And, they're having a cooking thing. They're doing pizzas. They're being flirty and whatever. And at one point, this trained chef lady, she's just like, I'm going to sit on the counter and talk to her. Like, you were just preparing food there. You're probably going to keep preparing food there. Get your ass off the counter.
The counter.
The fuck are you
come
doing?
on now.
Absolutely
That's a
not.
good
You
one.
can't.
That's a good one.
You can't make a movie about real, actual things that real people know about and can do, and put so little thought into just the basics of how anyone would act. It's yeah. So do minimum more research than that, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I like that.
Armageddon interview Clayton is referring to, by the way, is Ben Affleck was once was asked to tell stories about the set, and he said he once asked Michael Bay, like, "Hey, why is it a movie about training miners to be astronauts? Why wouldn't we just train astronauts to be miners?" And Michael apparently said, "Fuck off, Ben." And that was it.
He said,
Don't
"I'm
ask
asking
any
the
more
questions here."
Yeah. You're done. Anyway, Clay.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything that's been said. I agree that somewhere in there's a balance between Jeremy's two ends of the spectrum. And it matters. It's all matters relative to the movie's intention. I think the story's in charge of that balance. Like a well-told story, we're not going to care. If we believe the world, as a story world, and we can immerse ourselves in it and relate to the characters and feel like we're really there in the world, taking that journey, then we aren't going to care if we believe things or not. If the movie tells us this story is about this, and I'm going to show you what it's really like, then you better be doing your research. If it's The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that you're reading, and the entire summary of Earth is mostly harmless, like, there's your signal. Like, this book does not care about, like, ocean biodiversity. That's not what it's about. Like, it's Earth is mostly harmless, and there's a universe so vast out there that no thing actually matters. 0 days. Have we not mentioned The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yep,
And now it's time to rate this movie.
Well, I know I've talked too much, but Clay, to your point of, like, miss me with the early 2000s, every movie was like the real story of King Arthur.
They went through a kick
story
there.
of the Iliad, the real story. It's like, there isn't one. Shut up. Come on.
And nobody wants to see the real story of Robin Hood. Like, Robin Hood is much more fun the way we see him, you know? Like, Errol Flynn can be my Robin Hood forever. I don't want to see, like, the greasy, smelly murderer that was real Robin Hood. Like, a crazy guy who lived in the woods and hated the sheriff and killed a bunch of people about it. Like, that's who he probably really was.
Although we're getting that with the Death of Robin Hood with starring huge.
I'm probably gonna watch it.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it for sure. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm gonna watch it for sure. And you know they're gonna let Hugh Jackman uncork those pipes because Robin Hood and the Merry Men sing.
Yeah, they do.
We gotta tune into that, and we're also gonna watch the true story of the Odyssey. It's all gonna be great.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher.
What really happened with David?
What really happened in the Odyssey? Okay, well, I can't wait to find out. Let's find out first how we would all rate this thing. The way we rate on Fermented Fiction is how many drinks or whatever you choose to consume to enjoy yourself a bit more do you need to enjoy this movie, Hereditary, to the fullest. And we'll start with Jeremy. We'll end with you, Liz, so you can tell everybody one more time where to find you. Jeremy, how many?
Hey, so...
And of what?
Of what, indeed. Now, you're gonna want something, obviously, that, like, will shake your faith in reality. Like, what is even real? Was I asleep just now?
Sure.
Am I suddenly covered in paint thinner and about to set myself on fire? Was that a dream, and whose dream was it?
Sure. I hope they enjoyed it.
Exactly. I hope somebody's enjoying this dream. Anyway, so you'll want some absinthe, and you'll want a lot of it.
Yeah.
I love that.
This movie on absinthe is the hottest thing.
Oh boy. I don't know if it'll be good, but it will be an experience.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
And, anytime you find yourself thinking like, man, this family is really, really mean to itself, just
It is. It is mean to it.
just absolutely slam something. You'll need it. They only get worse. No matter where you find yourself thinking it, guess what? They're getting worse.
All I see is that fucking face on your face. Such a great line.
You know,
Toni Collette is such a good actress.
Maybe just waterfall it through the mom making a full ass diorama of trying to make her son feel like shit.
Yeah.
So
just beer bong absent.
Yeah. You won't feel good.
You will not. You will not.
That's good.
I like that. Well, I mean, I hate it, but I like it.
But you like it.
How about you, Trav?
You're gonna watch this twice. You have to. So the first time you have to watch it entirely sober. If you hate it, never watch it again. Not the movie for you.
Yeah.
Don't revisit that.
Won't get easier.
Second time, you're going to pay attention for all of the times you see the cult symbol, any Easter eggs you see about the cult. You're going to drink on every one of those. For me specifically, and anyone else who's like a card person, I'm like mildly a card person. I have my preferences and I have my reasons why. And one of those cars is Volvos, because they're like a Subaru, but like more expensive and kind of a little better, where they're super safe and reliable cars. Every
Love a
time you
Volvo.
have
I like a Volvo too.
Every time you have a thought of, man, this family must be rich because they own like 3 Volvos. I want you to take a shot, because I had a lot of those during this whole film of like, how many Volvos do these people own? Like, damn. And then every time you're just horrified by either a sound or lighting image shots. So it's going to be a lot, because Easter eggs, Volvos, and horrifying images. That's what you're drinking on the second viewing. First viewing, you gotta be sober. Stone
Yeah.
sober.
I agree with that. That would be my take as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going very well to the big screen there. This isn't much of a movie to be intoxicated, in my opinion. If you were going to do that, you could drink however you feel like you have to during the slow part of the movie, between the telephone pole and the bursting into flames. Everything in between there is, if you're watching a long game, this is like the middle of the game in a slow defensive game. You could definitely have a few beers and, just try not to get too sucked in to the misery that is the inter-family dynamics in this film. And if you make it out of that, then as soon as stuff gets lit on fire again, this movie treats you like a bouncer at a bar when you were underage and you try to sneak in twice. Like the first time, it slams your head into something and it goes, stay out of here. Like the second, and if you sneak back in and you're hiding in the corner and you decide to try again, this time the bouncer's like, all right, listen, like I'm dragging you all the way to the curb. I'm going to put you in the bus stop and I'm leaving you there. Like, then it doesn't stop the second time. It doesn't just give you a stern warning. It gives you, as we were saying, at StokerCon, a proper dickin'. Yeah.
Yep. Giving you a ruddy good seeing to, I tell
Which
you
used
what.
to mean something else, but hey.
Right. We are talking about a dickin' with your vocal cords, with your mouth.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about solid.
if that makes it better for everybody.
My mind went.
So many places.
You know how much steamy
Liz is
romance?
like, I don't know what bouncers are like in Montana. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad we got that sorted out. Liz, we'll finish with you on that perfect transition. And after you've rated the film, please also tell us where we can find you and what you have coming out soon.
Yeah. Well, I would say I do like the idea of having more of a sober eye just because of the, you want to pay attention. But I think it doesn't have to be like completely sober. I think what you need like a really strong bourbon or whiskey on the rocks. And you're like that old man with a cigar in like a dark room. And you're just like, you just drink it slowly because you can't get shit faced because I want you to pay attention, but you need something to numb it.
Sure.
So you just need it's like a cool numb throughout the whole thing, but it should be like a really bitter, strong one because you can't really like it that much. That's what I would suggest. And so you can find me on Instagram. I'm on a few other places, but that's the place I'm most active. And you can find me either through Elizabeth Suggs author, just kind of spelled this way in all one word. And if you follow me, message me and remind me where you found me, so then I'll follow you back because you never know with followers. And then if you want to, if you also like romance stuff, you can follow my other Instagram, which is Scarlett Xavier _author, and I usually mix and match stuff. So if you follow my Elizabeth, you'll see the Scarlett one too. Yeah.
All right.
And stuff that's coming out. The Collector Tales Publishing, which is a publisher I co-own. We have a Collective Madness, which is like a kind of dark fantasy, but more like psychological horror-ish too. So Hereditary would really work really well with that. But it's an anthology coming out in September, and then there's also a Utah local horror, Blood in the Sandstone, that's unofficially like. It's for anyone, but like a lot of HWA members are also part of it, but it's not HWA. I want to be very clear.
Gotcha.
So, and that's coming out in October. But yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Clay, before you sign off, Carter Comics said that all you need is one telephone pole to enjoy. So that's Carter Comics' rating.
Thank you, Carter Comics. We appreciate that.
That'll get you right.
That'll be our official rating when we release this in the newsletter, which you can sign up for. All you have to do is go to Substack. You are allowed to sign up for free, of course. Then you will still get the newsletter and every episode we do for free into your inbox with a little write-up. And you'll also get articles from Meathead Media, which are movie reviews regularly done and done very well. You will also, you'll get occasional movie references from me when I don't forget to update my blog. So yeah, please do like, comment, and subscribe. I know it's annoying to hear every podcaster in the whole universe say that, but it really helps the channel out. And we would like to keep doing this. Whether you like, comment, and subscribe, though, we're going to keep doing it. So you can't stop us either by failing to do that. So you might as well just join us, Like it's like when someone's knocking on your door for so long that you're just like, fine, come in. We could be that for you. You could open the door and you could open your heart.
The last two Meathead articles were Backrooms and It Follows. So
true that. And there was a session one right before that as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So go peep it. I'm going to write one on Widow's Bay very soon because I'm a huge fan of the show already. So I'm excited for you guys to watch it and for us all to argue about it drunkenly on the show. Until then, until next Tuesday, we'll be live again next Tuesday. Please come join us. And next Wednesday. So yeah, we'll see you there. Liz, thank you so much for being on the show. It was great to have you. And we'll see you around.
Yeah, thank you. I was happy to be on.
Hell yeah. Goodbye. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Later.